We're in the business of making extraordinary happen.
We understand small business because we are small business.
And we love Melbourne. Through our enterprises, Kreate Australia and Fides and Associates, we have supported some of the city's largest retailers, small businesses and beloved precincts.
Our unique skills and more than 30 plus years combined experience, strengthened by our rich local network of partners, enables us the distinct capability to develop an end-to-end solution for the city that we love. Hi there, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Fides, and welcome to Business Not As Usual, a conversation series for small business in Melbourne.
Throughout this series, we'll identify local challenges and present opportunities for small businesses. We'll chat to local success stories and discuss global insights, all designed as a toolkit to provide lessons learned and tangible actions which will help inform, inspire and empower your small business.
And we'll be speaking to inspiring individuals and pioneers who have created, innovated and carved out their own niche to survive, thrive and flourish in the new normal.
So we know that disruption is all around us and that change is the only constant.
So business is not as usual. Let's reimagine a new playbook for Melbourne and the city that we work, live and visit.
So join us and together let's make extraordinary Melbourne.
So they say that crisis is sometimes the best creative motivator. One creative startup saw an opportunity to both support struggling hospitality businesses, offer a new online destination powering Melbourne's love of food, and through it all generate a new business idea for themselves. Pantry is Victoria's first and largest restaurant retail partner, designed to link Victorians with product from their favourite restaurants, cafes and stores. Collab created an online marketplace, bringing together geographically diverse products in one simple online order.
To tell us more about this journey of bringing Kreate Pantry to life, we're joined today by the co-founder of Kreate Pantry, Danielle LeBon. Danielle, with her partners, set up Kreate Pantry in the midst of Melbourne's COVID crisis last year, but began her journey into setting up Kreate Pantry through over 10 years in working in design, having studied a bachelor's degree in communication, design and business, as well as studying abroad and working across a range of different clients, including Mecca, Kreate Group, Neek, and also setting up prior to Kreate Pantry other e-commerce businesses. One of the things that we love about Danielle's, what she's driven by is the experience of nurturing and growing things that are meaningful and using design to have social impact, which is something that we love to talk about on this conversation series. So welcome Danielle, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
Wonderful. So Danielle, tell us a bit more about the journey from idea to execution with Kreate Pantry.
Yeah, so Collab started as an emotional project where obviously in the midst of the pandemic we saw the hospitality industry having a bit of a hit, and we felt really strongly towards the hospitality industry. I'm a huge lover of food.
We all are, so we understand, yes. Yeah.
And so Natasha and I were texting each other at 3 a.m. one day saying, oh, what can we do? We really need help, we really need to do something. We noticed a lot of restaurants coming up with all these really creative retail products, and we
merchandise, there's a lot of merchandise
yeah,
coming through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like Natasha and I live just outside of the inner suburbs, so we actually didn't have access to any of our favourite restaurants,
right.
Even you know, on platforms like Uber Eats and Deliveroo and things like that.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so we said, you know, we want to create something where everybody can have access to all the amazing food that Melbourne has. Got in touch with another friend of mine, Evan, who is an amazing software engineer, and the three of us started brainstorming how this could evolve, and it really escalated from there in terms of what it turned into. It's funny because it started as an initiative to help. It wasn't, we didn't really go into it with, you know, mapping out things from the very beginning. We had like a really rough business plan, but it wasn't thought through in that sense. It just evolved in terms of we spoke a lot to the restaurants and started to understand what their pain points were and what they needed.
So it's interesting, you say there's no business plan, but that's the core thing that's actually missing a lot of sort of, you know, corporate strategy and stuff, that they're not talking to their customers and co-creating sort of a solution together, right?
Yeah,
so you're already on point from day one.
Yeah, like it was really interesting, and the whole model completely changed to what it is now. And yeah, we felt like we kind of worked backwards. Like we just wanted to quickly get something up and running so that we could help, because it was in the middle of the pandemic. But then we kept refining it as we went along, and essentially worked backwards.
But you launched the marketplace, even not knowing all the answers, right? I guess my point is that you can launch and iterate as you go, as you learn, and then go back and refine, right? So
if we were to do it again, we probably would look at different aspects that we didn't look at until later. But in saying that, that's also gotten us to where we are today. So I think like it's not, everything's better in hindsight.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
One of the things, the situation has changed over time in Melbourne. So, you know, we've gone from being that 5K radius that you were driven by to, you know, opening, closing, contracting, expanding the restrictions. So obviously you've kept evolving the platform as you've got more and more learnings. How has that happened, and where you sort of got to now?
So initially in the lockdowns, we were doing workshops as well. So we were focused on consumers being at home and how can they get that interaction with restaurants whilst they're at home. So as well as getting the products that they want, having those online workshops and learning and interacting with the brands themselves online. And then as we started to come out of lockdown, we did a series of events in the restaurants to encourage people to dine back in.
What kind of data were you looking to, and where did you find that data?
So with our like Google Analytics and things like that, but also doing surveys and things like that with our customers, speaking to them directly on what they like, what they need, what Collab is missing, what they'd like to see on Collab, and a lot of the things that we thought they wanted were actually the case, which was really good. We changed like our tracking processes with our shipping and delivery. That was a huge one for our customers, being able to track the whole process. And then also expanding our offering so that it's more of a rounded offering, so that customers can come on and get their weekly shop if they want to online, as well as get all their favourite meals and
like the essentials as well as the treats.
I
say anyway.
And then also focusing a lot on our corporate arm as well, because as we evolved, we saw that was a really strong part of our business too, and a lot of people loved the products that we had to be able to gift to others. So it's constantly looking at the data of where people are, where they're getting stuck in the user journey online,
and where
as
the
well,
conversation's happening and where you need to be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously, I mean, you just touched on the corporate gifting side of things, and one of the things I know we worked with you on with the Collins Street Precinct group was the Only on Collins box. So can you tell us a little bit about how that worked and what sort of happened there?
Yeah. So we loved being a part of that. We got to work with all different brands from the Collins Street Precinct and put together gift packs just around Collins Street, and just giving that opportunity to people that couldn't come into the city to still have a taste of their favourite things and also gift it to others. And it was around Christmas time too, so it was so perfect. A lot of people not being able to see their loved ones and being able to give that gift of Melbourne and Collins Street was really special. So
amazing. And obviously, so in addition to corporate work and the consumer sort of side of things, you also had a significant partnership with Visit Victoria's Click for Vic, which is huge. How did that come about, and what was involved from your side of things?
Yeah, so we were really lucky with the Click for Vic campaign. So Visit Victoria saw us initially through some PR that we did.
So PR works, guys. So
PR has definitely been a big driver for us. Yeah, Visit Victoria saw us through that, and they wanted to really drive people to support local, and saw that Collab Pantry is a great avenue to be able to direct people to do that. So they contacted us, and the partnership was like a mixture of advertising, collab, along with some other key brands, and just monitoring that success of their advertising and how much impact they had.
With that partnership, did you see, because obviously one of the things that you do as Collab Pantry is you give the opportunity for businesses that are tied by their physical location to offer their product out to anywhere, really. I know you ship nationwide. But in that period of time working at the Visit Vic, were there any kind of nuggets of businesses that were like, wow, we've really seen a huge growth in specific markets and the opportunity to sell their product outside of their sort of their regular audience?
Oh, definitely. Like some of our brands, they obviously shipping interstate was completely foreign. Like that wasn't even, they didn't even have products initially to be able to do that. And then they've created these products, and then all of a sudden they've got, their cult followings from South Australia and Tasmania buying, 10 of their products at once, just stocking
exciting.
up.
Stocking up.
One of the, obviously we're talking here a conversation series with small businesses in the city of Melbourne, bricks and mortar style businesses. It's that audience, we've talked about it before, their usual audience is office workers, international students, international visitors. They're just not there. So having that opportunity to find a platform, find a channel to get your physical product to a new audience and a new market, it's amazing. So
definitely.
An amazing innovation that you created that's probably wasn't even necessarily where you thought it would go.
I just love the fact that you're offering a capability that a lot of small businesses may not necessarily have delved into, or so they can trial a product or a new sort of package or something like that, just to see where it goes, but also introduce them to e-commerce.
A lot of brands are adapting and seeing the benefits of being online as well. And I think nothing ever replaces, going physically into store or into a restaurant. And I think it really needs to be that hybrid model of having the two, so that people can come in, get that one-on-one interaction and experience the brand, but then when they're at home they can also keep experiencing those brands. I think it's a really nice blend of the two, and I think you can't really go wrong being in the online.
One of the themes of this conversation series has been that continued communication. So whether the city's open or closed from a lockdown point of view, you can continue that conversation and commerce, most importantly, with customers.
So what do you think that marketplaces, what's the future of marketplace? There's talk that, it's e-commerce 2.0. What are your thoughts on that?
I think marketplaces are a great way to be, I think it's a great avenue to connect to additional consumers that you haven't already connected with.
In case someone's listening today and they haven't yet participated with you guys, or they would like the opportunity, how do businesses get involved with Collab Pantry? Because I would assume there's a process involved.
So on our website there's a partner sign up section in the footer, so you can just sign up there and we'll be notified, and it's just got a form to fill out, but also we're really open to working with other brands that aren't in the hospitality industry and partnering up and doing like cross promotions and things like that too. So feel free to reach out. Reach out to us on any channel, but we're on all the socials, and then also on our website as well. There's contact area and things like that. So always.
Because I think you were born out of a creative idea, so there's always, you never know what's going to come along, whether that's a service business, whether that's a, bricks and mortar retail, or the hospitality side, which you've obviously got covered. There's always reasons to kind of create something new.
Definitely.
And so I know it would be hard to just can we fine tune your top 5? There's so many learnings in your journey, and obviously you're evolving and learning as you go. But what are your top 5 hints or tips for small businesses looking to shift their bricks and mortar, or not shift, maybe add to, their channels into digital channels and find new audiences?
I think, so number one, speaking to your existing customers and using them, like they already know your brand, they already love your brand. They're the people I think that have the most information on what they want. Number two, I guess, is using that base to then refer to others.
Yep.
So, using referrals, even giving them a referral code, things like that. Number three, I think we spoke about partnering up. So partnering up with others, whether it's in the retail industry or whether it's a completely different industry, those partnerships bring so much to the table, and making sure that it's the right partnership and being clear on what you're both going to get out of it too. Also partnering with other people like influencers, like even speaking to influencers about becoming affiliates with your brand and being able to push your brand on their channels to get that extra exposure. Probably number five would be just probably using digital advertising. I think if you're trying to boost up your e-commerce store, digital advertising is something that is really, really, really important.
Obviously, you've got the trio of partners. You've obviously got a diverse skill set. I remember Shane D'Elia was talking about with Providor how he's a chef. He wouldn't hire a chef to do his marketing, so he made sure that he lent on expertise. And you've obviously lent on external support for PR and advertising. So, how important do you think that is? If it's not what you necessarily have the skill internally, do you think it's important to bring that in?
Yeah, that was actually going to be the next thing I was going to say, is really leaning on people that are experts in their own fields, even leaning on experts and externals for your digital marketing. Like I think one thing with digital marketing is if you're not in it all the time, you're never going to be as and know as much as these people that are. Focus on what you know, what you're good at, and get other people to help.
Yeah, I mean, we know a lot of the city businesses are single owner operators, so they a lot of the people watching may only have themselves as a bit of a jack of all trades, or whatever that saying is. So helping bringing that in, and we've talked about this before, but even just chatting with other businesses, sometimes their learnings, or reaching out and saying, who are you working with, how are you making this happen?
The e-commerce world it can get quite overwhelming, so I think definitely lean on people.
So what's next? Obviously you've had a huge growth journey over the last 12, it's pretty much just over 12 months, isn't it? 12, 15 months. What's next for Collab Pantry? Anything you can share?
We're really honing in on that user journey and implementing lots of really cool new features there, lots of things that will really add to the customer, like add value to our customers, and then expanding out into different areas and communities. So
amazing! Well, that's exciting. Can't wait to see where your journey takes you. And so, thank you very much, Danny, for joining us for our conversation series. And we hope that the businesses that are watching will take on some of those top tips and be inspired by your journey and your story.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
No worries.
And I hope that's helpful to someone.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us for Business Not As Usual, a conversation series for small businesses in Melbourne.
For more inspiration, head to businessnotasusual.com.au. I'm Fides.
And I'm Dylan.
See you next time.